Guys, my name is Brittany of Britzy Thrift. I'm a reseller on Poshmark as well as eBay, and welcome back for another What Sold video. This is the April 2025 edition, so let's just get right into it, and I'm going to show you what I sold. On April the 1st, we're starting with Poshmark, and then we'll do eBay afterwards. On April the 1st, I sold this new tag, pink tie-dye size 1X Pop Flex pastel bikini bottom. I got this out of the $2 bin, and it sold for $25, and I received order earnings of $20. On the 2nd, I sold this Tibby size 14 brushed denim pin tucked skirt, and this sold for $200, and I got order earnings of $160, which is great because if you're new here, on average, I try to spend about $5 on the items that I pick up. So, you know, $5 or $6 for a skirt that sells for $200 is great. As I said before, Tibby Denim seems to be doing really well. I have tried their like formal dresses before, but they don't really get as much attention as what I have had with like the denim jean skirt. Then I sold this Trip NYC by Dan Goodman, size 7 or size 28 pair of sort of like checkered black and white skinny jeans or pants. They sold for $40, and I got a payout of $32. Here's a pair of Nuitag Shukr, that's S-H-U-K-R, size large pleated, sort of like a work trouser. I think I was sending out offers. This is one of the things that I sent out an offer on, and then somebody countered that offer with $27, so I accepted, and I received order earnings of $21.60. Then we have this Sutton Studio cashmere size small gray crew neck sweater, sold for $20, and I got order earnings of $16. Here's a Faherty size medium. This is called the Aisha and Sky Coastal Floral Print. It sold for $40, and I got order earnings of $32 for this dress, and it got a 5-star rating. And additional comments read, "Gorgeous, many thanks for the offering and quick shipping." So I guess this came from an offer that I sent, but I can't really remember now. But anyway, thank you so much for your purchase. Here's a pyramid collection in a size 2X. It was this blue top, sleeveless top, and it was 100% cotton, and I believe it was a little bit gauzy. Sold for $15, and I got order earnings of $12. Here's a Hill House dress. It was Hill House Home, the Ellie Knapp dress in a size small. It was green and kind of ruffly with the straps on the shoulders. Sold for $40, and I got order earnings of $32. This I expected to get more for. I had it listed a lot higher, and it did get a lot of attention, but this was the only offer that I believe I received on this dress. So I was like, well, attention is one thing, but you know, to actually get a real offer is something else. Plus, I had it long enough where I expected to have gotten an offer by then, and I hadn't. So I took the $40 offer. Here's a pair of Eileen Fisher, size extra large, in this really pretty olive green. They're a wide leg cropped pant, kind of lagging looky, sort of like relaxed. Sold for $25, and I got order earnings of $20. Then we have a Nuitag American Eagle, size 8 or 29 waist, distressed blue jean shorts, sold for $25, and I got order earnings of $20, which is great because I got these out of the $2 bin. Here's a pair of vintage Havana size 7.5 Haley washed glitter sneakers with these sort of bright neon yellow shoelaces. Vintage Havana, I used to be able to sell them for like $75, but this pair I had for a while, and finally got an offer of $25, and I just took it and ran, and I got order earnings of $20. So maybe the value fell off on them, but at one point I was getting $75, so I don't know. I really like Tucker Nuck. I found it 3 times, I believe, and so far I've sold it every time. So this is a Tucker Nuck size large rainbow stripe linen dress. It sold for $70, and I got order earnings of $56. So I do like Tucker Nuck. I don't find it that often, but I will definitely keep picking it up. Nuitags or pre-owned, however I can get it, because it seems to do well in my closet. Here's a Nuitag J. Crew extra small picnic plaid short sleeve pajama top. I kept thinking after I bought it because it was the brown tag, and I like the brown tag J. Crew. But honestly, I was like, why did I pick up a pajama top? You know, it just seems like I felt like I was going to have it forever, or probably end up redonating it, because I was like, wouldn't you want a set? You know, but it sold for $18, and I got order earnings of $14.40. So just looking back on it, and it was an extra small. I mean, I'm glad it sold, but looking back on it, I don't think I would have particularly picked up this piece. Here's a pair of BDG size 33 by 32 baggy cargo pants. They sold for $25, and I got order earnings of $20. And oh gosh, okay, this is the first time this has ever happened to me. And I'm so paranoid about it. I can't believe it happened to me. So this person received this pair of pants, and they also received another person that bought from me their item. So one buyer received two items. And I was like, why is that other item not showing tracking? And I was like, sometimes that happens and it's probably getting there. This buyer messaged me and they were like, oh, I like these pants, but seems like you also sent me this as well. You know, what would you like me to do? So I was like, okay, I guess maybe my printer glitched or something and it double printed like or this person's label. And you know, I don't know why the post office didn't catch it as one of the packages having insufficient postage, because then they should have just sent it back to sender, but they didn't. They just went on and delivered it to this person's address along with their package. So I get it, the post office is, you know, probably swamped or whatever, so they were just like, here, take it, whatever. So I reached out to Poshmark because I was like, okay, worst case scenario, I'm gonna lose the money for the other item that went to the wrong place. But I reached out to Poshmark anyway to see if there was anything that could be done. Poshmark sent me a response saying that they had sent a label to this buyer to basically go ahead on and ship the item to where it needed to be. So I'm thinking, okay, that's all good if the person is willing to go to the post office, because remember, it was my fault. So they shouldn't have to go to the post office, and I totally would understand if they didn't want to. But this person said that she would go to the post office and drop off the package. The problem was, though, that she could not, I don't think she had a printer, and I explained to her that she could download the QR code. And that's where the trouble began, because I think she just couldn't, she was having trouble with figuring out how to generate the QR code. So I reached back out to Poshmark, and I also reached out to the buyer who did not receive their item and let them know what was going on. Poshmark decided to cancel the sale and refund that person who didn't get their item their money back, but they also did a courtesy of releasing funds to me, which I am grateful for. I didn't expect to get the money for the jacket because I was like, it's probably, you know, like, I mean, I didn't, you know, I made the boo-boo, but Poshmark did do that courtesy, and they told me, like, you know, just so you know, this is a one-time thing. We're not going to do this. If it happens again, it is your responsibility to double check the label, which I totally agree with. Usually I do, but for whatever reason, this one time, like, it just slipped where I did not see that two labels printed out with the same person's address. So if you're printing your labels at home, long story short, not really short, but because I just went through the whole spiel, but just double check your labels and make sure that nothing is printing out twice. Otherwise, you could end up losing out on a sale. Okay, so next we have this Nuitag Baltic Born size 2XL orange satin V-neck maxi dress. This sold for $30, and I got a payout of $24. This is a really cute butterfly, like a crop top or a bralette. It's from Cider, which at the time I don't think I knew that it was fast fashion. I just really like the butterflies on it, but since then I realized it is fast fashion and it probably shouldn't have been picked up, but it did finally sell. It was really cute. 2XL butterfly ladybug floral lace crop top sold for $17, and I got order earnings of $13.60. Then I sold this Brooklyn Express 32 by 32 blue carpenter pants or jeans. They sold for $40, and I got order earnings of $32. I was just about to donate this. It's like a water suit or a wetsuit. This is by XL Hawaii, and it's a size 10 full bodysuit. Sold for $30, and I got order earnings of $24. I was just like, when I was clearing out my storage unit, I looked at it and I was like, oh, make sure you grab that because nobody's going to want that. You know, I shouldn't have picked it up. And then sure enough, it sells. Here's a pair of True Religion Becky yellow button size 29 bootcut jeans. They sold for $27, and I got order earnings of $21.60. Okay, so this is the jacket that I was telling you about that went to the wrong person. This is a Nuitag Pop Sugar size small moto jacket in maritime blue. It was faux leather, sold for $39. Crazy because the jacket cost more than the pants. You know, I mean, like either way it would have been messed up, but like I was kind of like, oh man, how come the $40 jacket went over to the $25 sale? You know, like I mean, it wouldn't particularly have been better if the $25 pants had gone to the $40 sale, because it still would have been like, you know, not right. But you know, anyway, like I said, it worked out. So it kind of sold for $39 and my order earnings were $31.20. So thank you, Poshmark, for, you know, giving me a little mercy on that one. Then we have this pair of Shoots. This is a size 10B Brianna platform sandals in wood color. Sold for $30 and I got order earnings of $24. Then I sold this Nuitag Tommaso size 9. This is called the Pista Area Elite Cycling Shoe. And this sold for $28 and I received order earnings of $22.40. It's funny because like when I bought those, the cashier was asking me, she was like, what are these for? And I'm like, oh, they're rock climbing shoes. And it's like, they're cycling shoes. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just grabbing them because I know I'm going to resell them. So then I sold this bundle of a Skies Are Blue Curvy 2X burgundy blazer. I think it was called the Asia blazer. And then I also sold this pair of Move by Chocolate Blue size 40 Noella calf hair slip-on shoes. The offer price was for $55 and I received order earnings of $44. So Move by Chocolate Blue. Well, Chocolate Blue, I've sold it a couple of times and it did fine. So it does have a following. So I don't find it that often, but I'll keep picking it up. Skies Are Blue, I was definitely experimenting because I heard that Skies Are Blue plus size blazers and like little jackets like this do well. I have another one that's even bigger than this one. It's not new. It's pre-owned, but it hasn't moved yet. So maybe I need to do a closet clear out and see if I can go in and get it to move. But this one did go, and I'm happy about it. Then I sold this Tommy Hilfiger size 1X flag logo t-shirt dress. It sold for $15, and I received order earnings of $12. Then I sold this Nuitag Noli size small black Vixen bra. This sold for $35 and I got order earnings of $28, and this came from the $2 bin, so that's a really good sale. Then I sold this, I had this for a long time. This was a Kim and Cami size medium blue purple tie-dye top, kind of slouchy or had like the drape on the chest. It sold for $12 and I got order earnings of $9.05. Then I sold this Nuitag Barbara Erickson size small multicolor floral quarter sleeve dress. This sold for $45 and I got order earnings of $36. And then I sold this pair of Justin or Gustin. I think it's Justin, but I don't know. They were just a pair of men's button fly blue jeans size 32. They sold for $20 and I got order earnings of $16. I sold this Buck Mason size large Henley shirt. It was gray. I think I got this from the $2 bin. It sold for $19 and I got order earnings of $15.20. This next sale was really, really good. This is a Frank and Eileen size extra small rose blue 100% linen short sleeve top. This sold for $117 and I got order earnings of $93.60. I believe that this was the first sale that I woke up to that day. So when I looked at it, I was like, you know, I'm trying to like look at it and see if it's just saying 17 and maybe I'm just sleepy or whatever, but it was like, no, it was 117. So Frank and Eileen has still got it and I'm still going to pick it up whenever I find it. This is, oh, this is cool because I remember I passed this in the $2 bin like a lot. This is, the brand is called Fashion Brand Company and this was a size large one-piece swimsuit. And what was it? It was called FU something. It was a lady's name. I don't know, but it was like graffiti print all over and, you know, it was a little bit edgy, I guess is the nice way to say it, because like I said, it had like FU Linda, I think is what it said on it, but it sold for $50 and I got order earnings of $40. And this This caught my attention a lot. I saw it like a couple of trips and nobody else had picked it up. And I always looked at it, but I never looked it up. And then when I finally looked it up, I was like, well, what am I doing? This is a good brand. I've never heard of it. And so it got attention once I listed it, and it sold. So $50 for a bathing suit is great. Here is a Pamet apparel, size extra large, hemp organic cotton dress. This sold for $87, and I got order earnings of $69.60. This was a part of that person's bundle that gave me all those, not gave me, but donated all those, what is it, Zuri Kenya dresses. She had like a lot of sort of plus size, what do you call it? Like organic, eco-friendly type fabric dresses. And this is one of the ones that was in that bundle. And the Zuri Kenya did phenomenally well, like great. And so I had a feeling that this would do well as well. So I grabbed it since I knew it was from her collection. And apparently she has really good taste. So definitely going to remember these brands, and I'm so appreciative that they donated it. This next sale kind of irritated me because it got canceled, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So this is a Nuitag Polo Ralph Lauren size extra small classic green short sleeve polo shirt. So I put it in the title that it's green. I put it in the description that it was green, and I labeled it green in the listing. And even on the tag, like I said, it was Nuitags. Even on the tag, it said green. Green. The person bought it. Then they came back and messaged, and they were like, I just want to confirm that I'm buying the brown shirt that's in the photos, not, and they put it in quotation marks, green. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Everything under the sun says green. Why would you think brown? And so I just told them, I said, it's green. It's green. And they're like, oh, okay, well, you can go on and cancel it then. And I'm like, it kind of pissed me off because I was like, okay, now you're just trolling, but whatever. The thing is relisted and it's getting attention again, but it's just like, please do not waste my time with that. I feel like that was intentionally like just to mess with me, but whatever. Next, we have this Ralph Lauren. This is a Nuitag 2XL gray cable knit open front sweater. It sold for $40, and I got order earnings of $32. I remember this one sold on eBay, and it was the same thing where I felt like somebody was trolling because I had it at a set price, and then you know how you can set the price and you can also accept offers, but then you can set a minimum offer on eBay, so it will automatically reject any offers that come in underneath that minimum offer that you have set. So that's what I had on this sweater, and then somebody, I guess they kept playing with it until they finally hit like the minimum offer that I would take, and so I accepted it. And then they messaged me and they're like, is this men's or women's? And I'm like, everything under the sun says women's. It's like there should be no confusion. And then I was like, maybe I should tell them it's unisex, just to be, funky or whatever. But I was just like, okay, it's women's. And then of course they come back and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was men's. And I'm like, okay, I should have responded and said, oh, I'm sorry, it's actually men's, and see what they do next. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think some people just like to play around on people's accounts. I don't know why. I don't know what they get out of it, but it's a waste of time. But I mean, anyway, it's just those little things that kind of irk me. But next, we have this Nuitag pair of proper size 36 by 32 black tactical pants. These sold for $25, and I got order earnings of $20. They were listed for longer than I expected. Not a ridiculous amount of time, but just longer than what I thought. And I did also expect to get more for them. I just saw 2 more pair in the thrift store that I passed on. They were both Nuitags, and I was tempted because I was like, well, maybe, still for bread and butter, I could pick them up. I decided to pass on those, and I saw a different brand of Nuitag tactical pants, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try that one, but the 2 propers I left behind because I was like, this one took a little longer than what I expected. Then we have this ModCloth size medium green, sort of like a teal blue green suspender mini dress. It did have like a tiny spot on it, so I labeled it as flawed, so that way I wouldn't, mislead anyone. Still sold for $17, and I got order earnings of $13.60. And then I sold this pair of Daily Drills size medium large orange sweat shorts. They sold for $30, and I got order earnings of $24. Here's something I had for a long time. I think I picked it up because it was linen. This is a Pendleton size extra large linen blend multicolor striped gauzy long sleeve button front top. Sold for $10, and I got order earnings of $7.05. It received a 5-star rating, and additional comments read, beautiful top, packaged nicely, and shipped quickly. I highly recommend this seller. Thank you so much, sweetie. Then I sold this Nuitag Karl Lagerfeld Paris, size 14, pink. It had, what do you call it, applique flowers, almost like 3D flowers, where, like, you know, you could touch the flowers. It wasn't just a print. And I thought it was really cool too, and it was Nuitag's, but it sold for $28, and I got order earnings of $22.40. I'm still under the impression that Karl Lagerfeld is like a really expensive brand, and I think it is, but the resale value just isn't quite there. I'm happy I picked up this dress because it was a beautiful dress, and it didn't sell, you know, poorly, but it just wasn't phenomenal. Then I have this pair of John Varvatos size 13 canvas low top slip-on shoes. They sold for $45, and I got order earnings of $36. Then I sold this Title IX size medium gray sleeveless tank top, sold for $6, and I got order earnings of $3.05. I got this out of the $2 bin, so really not making a lot of profit here, but the reason I sold it so low was because I think I noticed some flaw in it. Like, I think there might have been like a little hole in the fabric somewhere, so I was like, okay, it's just a little tank top. I paid $2 for it. What the heck, get it out of here, and it'll be done. Same with this sale. This is a Nuitag Eliza J size 6 blush pink sleeveless wide leg jumpsuit. Beautiful Nuitags. I seriously did not think that I was going to sit on this, and I did not think that it was going to sell for what it sold for. It sold for $10. I sold it for $10 that somebody offered me because I was like so sick of looking at it. I got order earnings of $7.05. And I don't know if I paid like $5 or $6 at the thrift store or if I got this from Ross. But either way, I didn't lose money. I just got extremely small profit for it. But that's why I said I wasn't going to pick up Eliza J anymore. Then I sold this Billy Reid size medium linen plaid button-up shirt. It sold for $42, and I got order earnings of $33.60. I was trying to hold out. This person sent me a lower offer before, and then they sent me this offer. It was getting a lot of attention, but I just felt spunky that day, and I was like, okay, clearly they want it, and I just didn't feel like sitting on it. I mean, I was excited to experiment with this brand because I was waiting for just the right piece. I've seen it before, but never in something that I felt like I could really resell. So this is my first Billy Reid sale, and I'm happy with it. Here is a Nuitag Pilcrow Anthropologie size 3X V-neck floral. I think it was a linen blend dress. Sold for $89, and I got order earnings of $71.20. I'm not sure why this one hung around for so long. I think I got this one like 2 years ago in a bundle of stuff, or maybe it was 1 year ago. But it was like someone had donated their plus size stuff, and I kind of just grabbed all her collection because, you know, like it seemed like it was pretty nice stuff. So, but this one just sat around, but still it sold eventually, and it sold really well. This is a brand that I like called AYR, the jeans. I don't find them that often, but when I do, I pick them up. This was called the Pop Blue jeans. They were size 25 and 25 short. And they sold for $55, and I got order earnings of $44. This is another thing that I looked at and I was like, oh, why didn't you donate that? It just slipped through the cracks when I was going through my storage unit. But it did sell. So this is a pair of Vera Bradley multicolored thong wicker flip-flops. Sold for $13, and I got order earnings of $10.05. Here's a pair of Denim and Supply size medium Ralph Lauren purple, kind of like harem gypsy pants, kind of loose fitting. Sold for $20 and I got order earnings of $16. Here's a Nuitag Vince dress. It was blue, it was floral and sleeveless, and I believe it was missing its belt. I had it for a really long time. Thought that I was going to get more for it because at the time that I picked it up, Vince was being talked about a lot as a good brand to resell. But I've had it for so long and sick of looking at it. Sold for $25 and I got order earnings of $20. Then I sold this Roller Rabbit size large navy blue 100% linen dress. It sold for $30 and I got order earnings of $24. I'm still not sure if Roller Rabbit is the same as Roberta Roller Rabbit. So that was it for Poshmark. Let's go into eBay. On eBay on April the 1st, I sold this Nuitag Old Navy size 14 short high-rise Wow Loose blue jeans for $25 and I received order earnings of $14.55. Then I sold this pair of Minnetonka 8.5 suede faux fur lined tan moccasin slippers. I think they were for men. I'm not sure though. They sold for $30 and I received order earnings of $17.56. Then I sold this Nuitag Parsley and Sage size medium light blue textured sleeveless top. Sold for $30 and I received order earnings of $20.73. I believe that was a $2 bin. Then I sold this Nuitag Spanx size medium polished ankle slim classic black pants. They sold for $39 and I received order earnings of $24.10. Next we have this Persephore size medium black green foliage leaf print dress that sold for $39 and I received order earnings of $27.26. Then we have this, oh, we're still on April the 2nd? That's crazy. Okay. It was a good day. So Pop Flex extra large green shorts. These sold for $35 and I got order earnings of $24.86. Still on the 2nd, I sold this. What in the world did I do on April the 2nd to get all these eBay sales? I don't know. Did I send offers? I don't know. I can't remember. Something must have triggered it. I wish I could remember exactly how to trigger sales, but I do so much that I never can pinpoint exactly what it is that I've done. Even after experimenting and trying to monitor myself, it still seems kind of random. So then I sold this Barefoot Dream size 2X relaxed hooded cardigan in berry red. Sold for $35 and I got order earnings of $23.04. I sold this Patagonia size medium green T-snap pullover. I really like the green and I was thinking about like St. Patrick's Day or something when I picked it up. So that's why I grabbed it. Sold for $35 and I got order earnings of $22.10. Then I sold this Nuitag Chico's size 3R. Chico's does vanity sizing, so that equates to a 16 regular. These were black Zenergy Sport Nema travel pants, and they sold for $35. And I got order earnings of $23.64. Then I sold this Scott & Scott London size large cashmere neon striped sweater. When I photographed it and picked it up in the store, I didn't realize that it had some holes like in the shoulder section until I did my final inspection, and then I took pictures of it and everything to disclose it. But it still sold for $40, I believe. Yeah, sold for $40 and I got order earnings of $28.50. Then I sold this Eddie Bauer size 6 paisley corduroy maxi skirt. Funny because I have another one that's tan and it's new with tags, and I thought that one was going to sell first, but the pre-owned one sold first, I guess because of the interesting paisley floral print. So this sold for $40 and I got order earnings of $24.36. Then I sold this Nuitag pair of Levi's size 6 medium straight leg 505 mid-rise blue jeans. I think I got these from Ross. They sold for $40 and I got order earnings of $24.96. Then I sold this pair of Torrid size 11W wide width. These were called the Bone Horse Bit Woven Mule Flat, and they sold for $40 and I got order earnings of $24.43. And I'm glad because I like them. They're pretty cute, and I just felt like, you know, I mean, they were brand new, so I was like, somebody should get these and rock them in the summertime. Then I got this We the Free medium bubble it says Bubble Up because they had like a bubble hem. Pullover Heather Gray sweatshirt sold for $65, and I got order earnings of $49.31, and this was something that I plucked out of the $2 bin, so that was a good pickup. Then I sold this Lululemon size 32 ABC pant, classic warp stream and stony brown. This sold for $49, and I got order earnings of $35. Then I finally sold this Nuitag pair of Carhartt pants. They were size 42 by 32 relaxed fit rugged work khaki pants for $30, and I got order earnings of $16.47. They took so long to sell, but they did finally sell once I relisted them. So speaking of which, so that was the end of my eBay sales. That's everything I sold. What I was going to say was that so I'm sure most of you know about the policy change for Poshmark that took effect May the 1st, about they don't want you to excessively copy and relist the same listings over and over again. And I know there was a lot of talk about that because people like to do that as a strategy to sort of like trigger the system. I don't think that it's really going to affect me so much because I don't use automation, and I would do it, but like not what I would consider excessively. I know some people were doing it like 100 times a day or whatever, and I kind of just did it here and there, especially if I found out that something, like if I came across a listing that was extremely old, you know, I would try to relist it just to refresh it in the system. But ever since May the 1st hit, I've been trying to more so focus on brand new listings, and I've got plenty of inventory that I've been listing out. So, you know, it's fine by me. I mean, I'm still going to deactivate a listing, and I think even in their update, they were like, it's fine if you sell something somewhere else and then you need to, you know, delist. That's fine, but not constantly, you know, like doing it on a daily basis, large amounts. So, you know, I don't think that you're really going to get in trouble with this policy change. I think they're really just trying to hone in on some people that may truly be, you know, abusing it and probably using automation to abuse it. So I don't think it's really going to affect as much. Well, if anything, I was kind of hoping that maybe, depending on how many people are abusing it, like they said, Poshmark said they wanted to level the playing field and they wanted to make it fair. So, I don't know, maybe we'll start people that don't use automation or just don't abuse, you know, the system like that with constantly relisting items excessively. Maybe they will see an uptick in their sales from this because, you know, you're not going to be competing with a bot that's relisting brand new listings, and those listings might be showing over your listings that you manually really did just list, you know. So I don't know. It's still early in May to see. I have, you know, kind of started off on a good foot in May, but I don't know if that's just because it's the beginning of the month and people maybe, you know, maybe they've got a little more money towards the beginning of the month than they do at the end of the month. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to keep going, and I'm constantly thinking about my business. I am definitely paying more attention to the things that I'm picking up. I already, you know, if you watch my haul videos, I'm already picking up a lot of new with tags items. I try my best to pick up new with tags items because it's accessible here in my area. I'm fortunate enough to find a lot of new with tags items, so I take advantage of the opportunity. I feel like it gives me a competitive edge because, you know, I mean, as opposed to having to try to wash something to get a spot out, unless you just like to recycle clothing, which is fine. But if you're a one-person show, that is an extra step and it is more work. So just to make it easier on myself, I gravitate towards new with tags items because most of the time, not 100% of the time, but most of the time, they are flawless. So it's just something that makes it easier for me, and like, you know, everything with the economy and people not having as much money to spend, and then everything is just so competitive. Like so many of the mall brands that you used to go in the mall and see, now they're at Walmart. Like I went to a Walmart that had a Claire's the other day, and I was like, okay, when did that happen? You know, I didn't even know that they did that. So everything is definitely becoming more affordable in the clothing area. So I'm trying to get a lot more wiser about what I'm picking up. I try to pick up things that you may not be able to just find, or, you know, like, I don't know, mass produced or whatever. I try to get things that are a little bit different. So I guess that's why some people like to aim for vintage, you know, because it's not something that you can just find today. It's something that you have to specifically go and look for, which is a good strategy if you like vintage. So, you know, it's just things, you know, that you have to keep up with, and I'm doing the best that I can. I still enjoy it. I'm just trying to get a lot smarter at it and, you know, deal with whatever changes, policy changes that may come my way, because they're going to come. You know, Poshmark is going to change whatever they want. It is their company. So, you know, I'm just going to keep trying and deal with whatever I have to deal with when it comes. So, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye.